Okay, we're out here in beautiful Ojai, and we're testing the IZZO Comp unmodified in black.
Fourth ride.
Fourth ride. Good versus evil here. We got the Batman color IZZO Comp, Fox Rhythm 34, DPS Elite in the back. It still has the RockShox Lockout. Pretty much everything as is, same tires. The Forecasters,
yep.
Which we had a flat on Saturday, right? You had a flat and you had a flat on the Forecasters.
You had a nail or a sharp rock, and I came down off a jump onto a sharp rock and pinch flatted it.
Okay, and you got tubes in.
Yep.
Tyler, you're on your super comp, if you will. So what have you got going? ODI grips with your name on them.
Mm-hmm.
Wireless dropper. Custom lockout. You've got different brake cover just flopping around. He put E13 LG1R. He put the Mopo E13 tires on. Thicker casing, thicker knobs, 1 pound heavier per. And he put the fast rolling single ply Apex on the back. He's got, let's see, same brakes. He's got an XO1 controller for his shifter. He's got the water bottle. Always got that unicorn power. He's got the E13 Cassette, which is about a pound lighter or more if you take the E13 Cassette plus the XO1 derailleur that he has. He's got an XO1 chain, and he also has the absolute black oval chainring. On top of that, as if that wasn't enough, he also has carbon cranks. So he's got the SRAM Dub Descendant carbon cranks. Same saddle, same brakes, same frame. We tuned the suspension, but it is the original suspension. We like the suspension. What do you think, Tyler? You ride everything from Fox Factory to you ride all the suspensions.
It does its job, so it's fine with me.
You don't notice the difference?
Not really. I really can only tell when they're bad.
So, Tyler, you are a downhill racer. You race a Tuez Pro Race, which has the Fox Factory everything. You also ride the Capra Superbike build right up there. Do you ever think, gosh, I wish I had a better something on this bike?
No.
Now, would you be just as happy riding Robin's unmodified one? Like if you had Robin's, instead of doing everything you've done, what would be the one thing you would change first?
Probably the Cassette.
The Cassette, the NX Cassette would be your number one?
Yeah.
I get that. Why?
Super heavy. Made me very back heavy.
Okay.
Heavy.
It made the bike feel offset in weight. When did you notice it? Only in the air, I imagine.
Yes.
So if you're not jumping and you're not riding like 1,000...
Feel that?
Oh, yeah. If you're not jumping and you're not riding like 1,000+ miles a year, save your money. But it is a noticeable offset in the weight balance of the bike in the air, we noticed. Good point, Tyler. What about the tires? You like riding those, or?
I mean, for cross-country purposes, the Forecasters are fine, but they get flats really easily. So these are just nice to have.
And you've got this fast roller in the back, so it has like knobs on the corners and kind of semi-slick. How do you like that rear? You just had a big knobby rear on a couple days ago, so you've gone through 3 sets of tires in like a week. What do you think about this semi-slick?
Well, I haven't had much time to test it. We've really only been going uphill the entire time, and since I just put this on, I can't really tell at the moment.
Okay. So you guys are very different. Tyler's like one of the faster people I know. Very experienced, downhill and enduro racer, cross-country racer. You're a new rider. So you guys have different perspectives. We heard from Tyler. You've been off bike since you were a younger guy. You're back on. You chose the Izzo. What do you think about the bike?
I mean, I love the bike.
Why?
Well, it's an N of 1, right? I don't have really a comparison other than jumping on your bike for 5 minutes a day, and it has clipless pedals. So
right.
But it just climbs like a goat. I was worried about the 29 versus 27 thing, and the tires I mean, the big wheels are awesome.
Yeah,
like,
29er.
And it's super confidence inspiring. I feel like the 130 mil travel is plenty for me for quite a while. And we've been going through all kinds of fun chunk. And
yeah, we have.
yeah, it seems to just tear right through it. Yeah, it's fun. And I'm just under 5'9" with a 30.5 inseam. And I was really worried about the medium or large because everybody online was talking about sizing up, but I think this is the right size for me.
So you are about 5'9", 30-inch inseam. Tyler, you're 5'8", 28-inch inseam. I'm 5'10", 32-inch inseam, and we all like the medium. I like the medium because even though I'm on paper more of a size large, I ride a medium bike because I feel sportier on it. Like I ride a size large downhill bike, I ride a size large e-bike. Here's my Capra that I'm riding today, Capra Elite. Also kind of got a little of this and that tuned up. Full axis system and I don't know, different tires and some changes, but I like the medium because I feel more comfortable pedaling it and I just feel so much more in control of my bike at speed downhill.
As a beginner, it's just such a big bike compared to what coming from 26-inch tires. It's already huge, so I don't know if I would want it to be any bigger.
Okay, well, let's and what do you think? You rode oval chainring today for a minute on some climbing.
I can feel it. It's kind of cool. Yeah, when you're just sitting and trying to crank out power, it did feel like a little more traction on some of the chunky little sections.
I think you did well with this bike because you could not find this value, this quality of build in anything else at this price point anywhere.
No way.
Unbelievable.
I would have had to go used.
Yeah, and even then.
Maybe Canyon had something, but they were all out of stock. And I like.
Yeah, it looks awesome. So I guess I'll follow you guys down for a few, and then I'd be curious to have you guys swap bikes and Tyler be reminded of what his bike felt like from the factory, and Robin to feel our race build version that we made with some sort of, in my opinion, tasteful upgrades that were fairly inexpensive in that we had the stuff mostly laying around in our garage. We bought nothing for the bike. The only thing we bought for the bike was we bought the lockout change. I hated this. Why? I don't like these grips. We're kind of like super fanboys for ODI. All of our stuff are ODI, and we love the Vans waffles. These are the cross trainer somethings. And I just didn't like the feel of these, but we wanted the lockout because, Tyler, do you need your lockout?
Not really. I mean, it's nice to have on climbs, but for the most part, I kind of just forget it's there.
And I'm almost double your weight. You're like 120 and I'm like 190. I guess, significantly heavier. I always use the lockout because the way Tyler pedals, I notice he pedals at a faster rate, more heart rate. I pedal at a slower cadence with more muscle use than heart rate. And so for me, I notice it. For him, I never see you like thinking about it. In fact, Tyler locks it out more on downhill so he can boost jumps bigger by not having the rear end soak up the jump. Is that accurate? Yeah. And what do you think about that E13 TRS 9-50 cassette? That's like your favorite thing, you said.
Oh yeah, it's super nice, super light, sounds good. So I like it.
Yeah, it's pretty fantastic. We're huge fans of their stuff. We haven't bought their new one yet. we're gonna get one as soon as we have a need. I have the 10 to 52 on my Capra, and people are gonna judge me for laying my bike down on my axis derailleur side, but once I destroy this 10 to 52, I'm gonna definitely go over to the E13. So as soon as I start seeing some teeth and whatever, and I don't do a lot of that because I take super good care of my chain, but I'm running the Absolute Black as well with the X1 chain and the X01 10 to 52 Eagle with the Axis drivetrain. And I love this setup. It's my favorite setup. It's frivolous. Don't waste your money. Just buy GX or XT and be happy, because they both perform exactly as well as this for like a fifth of the price. All right, well, Izzo versus Izzo.
How much of a difference am I going to notice with the, he's got to have a lot less air in his rear suspension because of his slight weight.
Oh, like on going downhill on his bike? You won't really care. Yeah, I mean, it'll feel undersprung, obviously, but I hop on his bike, he hops on mine pretty frequently on rides, and it'll give you appreciation for having a properly tuned suspension. Yeah, good question. Good question. So his will be undersprung. All right, after you guys. The black Izzo, the white Izzo. It's like a super comp. So we're up in Ojai. Gorgeous day. It's a Tuesday, the Tuesday right before Christmas. We're just out here, you know, relaxing, enjoying some beautiful scenery, trying to make some corners. So as you just saw from Tyler and Robin, nothing beats experience. Tyler rides a lot, races a lot, relatively speaking, I suppose, but skill outweighs the bike every time, obviously. But at a certain point, if you get a bike that you don't love, you're gonna regret it. You'll outgrow it. I don't think anyone would really outgrow the comp, the Izzo Comp. I think if anything, you would just make a couple of tiny upgrades, mostly drivetrain. NX is good for casual riding, but it's just not sufficient for people who just get out and pedal a lot. These guys are straight hauling. Can't even keep up with them. Whoa, as I jump myself into those rocks. I guess I should focus on using my long travel Capra to keep up with these two Izzos. All right, I see him. Let's see if I can catch him. So nice up here in Ojai. Woohoo! That could have been a double, I guess. Big exposure. There they are. These guys are straight animals. I don't even know how I got so far behind, but here we are. Oh man, this is awesome. To call this video the time the big Capra couldn't keep up with the two Izzos. I could not keep up with you two animals. You guys are killing it. So, what do we think? Why does you guys are going so fast, Tyler? You're just following like downhill champion over here.
That's fast.
That was fast. That was really, really fast. So, let's do an interesting swap. You go your comfortable level. So I noticed immediately that his ergonomics are quite different than how I would ride mine. He's riding on some candies, but with flat shoes. I'm riding on flat pedals in my clip shoes, which is fun. It doesn't impact me. So the jumps are great. Yeah, the ergonomics are very different than how... No hurry. No hurry. The ergos are way different than how I would ride it. But my Izzo that Tyler rides, I've just got it dialed how I like it to fit our preference. I trained Tyler to like to ride how I want the bike, so that helps. All right, wild man. Hello, how are ya? Boom. Little berm. So it's interesting hopping on the Izzo right after the Capra because, whoa, as my foot comes off the pedal. The Izzo just feels a lot easier to manage on this type of very low technical trail without features. I would say that for this trail, the Capra feels like a little bit more horsepower than what is needed, where the Izzo just feels fun and sporty, and frankly faster. That's really surprising to me. Now, the Capra eats up these rocks better with that far superior suspension and tire and push core and all that, but this thing's perfect for this trail. If this is what we rode all the time, I have an Izzo and no Capra. But even though Tyler is skilled enough to race Izzo in downhill races and race Izzo in enduros, I'm not. I need that long travel as a crutch to make me feel safe. This trail is fun. Yeah, the oval chainring is a huge advantage. And those little punchy bits like that, you notice it right away. I do notice that these G2 brakes, it's like the brake rotors are constantly flopping around making noise, which my Code RSCs don't do. Oh, sporty. Cross-country tires. I couldn't ride it with these forecasters. I don't love pedaling, and I like that they're light, but I just hate the fact that they have no stinking traction. For me, they have zero traction. For what I like. They're narrow, they don't have thick knobs. Alright, I'm gonna do another bike swap. See if Robin notices. I want to swap before. Let's swap out. What do you think when you hop on the capper after being on the Izzo? What do you notice?
Actually cramps out my hands from being that high. But I feel like
what's too high?
Control on that bike.
Do you? Well, the suspension is just working. Like the bike is floating along.
Yeah.
So what cramps your hands?
Just
the bar height?
Yeah.
Okay, that's very interesting because the seat is much lower when it's all the way down compared to the Izzo. So it puts more weight into your wrist. That's interesting. I guess that is true. I just never think about it because I ride this bike so much. Great point.
All right.
All right, I'll follow you. Ryder. Hi there. How are you?
Good,
oh,
man.
thanks.
How you doing?
Good. Enjoy. Okay. Yeah. This big boy feels good. We just did another bike swap. After you guys. What do you notice?
I do notice the tires.
Yeah. What do you notice? What do they feel like?
You know, it's pretty subtle for me, but it's a little bit more, because I'm still really learning how to corner.
Yep.
But I feel I'm seeing what they're talking about leaning into the front tire a little bit more.
Yeah.
It's just a little more confidence inspiring. I agree the Cassette sounds really good.
Yeah. Well, I'll tell you, it's the same one. The only difference in sound is that yours still has a lot of packing grease in there that hasn't worn down yet with mileage, and Tyler's is more worn down. You guys both have that same DT Swiss hub. I think it's the 305 hub, if I'm not mistaken.
It's a little sketch on the pedals.
Yeah.
Of course.
So that makes it a little bit hard to compare.
Yep.
But yeah, what else is different?
What do you notice on the grips? Like the ergonomics of your hands and the grips and the brake position and stuff?
Not much.
Okay.
I mean, now that you mention it, these are kind of nice, but those aren't bothering me.
Yep.
And I'm not doing a lot of pedaling. I mean, the seat post dropper is a nice upgrade. It's just instantaneous and smooth. I don't know if that's about the...
It's not worth it though. $800.
Yeah, I'm not going to be doing
Silly, don't do it. Total waste, total frivolous, whatever. We just had two of them and we chose to put them on these two bikes. We had them on our e-bikes previously.
Just as a viewer of your YouTube channel, when you say we just had them,
Yeah,
I'm
so
always like, what is he talking about?
because we build, so let me explain that. Great point. What I do often, as an example, I just sold my Decoy Pro Race. I bought it in like May or something, and I just sold it. Because the new bike is going to drop soon, and I figured I'll buy the new bike. And so we had an Eminent that we raced for 2 seasons before that. Amazing bike. When I sold the Eminent, as an example, I pulled an X2 off of it and sold it with the DPX2. So then I have an X2 factory rear shock in my garage. That's not a jump. Good riding, dude. Capra. Hello. Thank you. The other guy will be a couple minutes, but there is a third one. Hello. Excuse us, thank you. There's another guy that'll be in a minute, but he'll be coming a little slower. So just